everyone, welcome back. Today I'm starting a new series for my channel, and that's going to be a series all about fantasy football. It's going to be called Fantasy Football Update. I started doing fantasy football, I would say about 3 or 4 years ago. My brother started a team and asked me to be on it. And at first I was a little bit hesitant because one, because I had never been on one, but two, because I didn't really know that much about football. And I have to be honest, while I've learned a little bit through doing fantasy football, I still don't know a whole lot. So you don't necessarily have to know a whole lot about football in order to do fantasy football. I'm sure it can help you in some ways, but I haven't found that I've had to know every little thing about football in order to play in fantasy. This year I'm actually playing on 2 teams, which I started doing last year, so my brother's team, and I also play on a team with some people at work. But today is the draft for my brother's team, and I'm a little bit nervous about it because I haven't done any research. In the past I've done lots of research, but this year I just haven't had as much time as I would like to do research. So it should be interesting, but I thought I would tape the draft process for you and hopefully continue updating you regarding my fantasy football teams throughout the season. I don't know if I'll be able to do a weekly update, but I will try to update you as often as I can. Once my team has been drafted, I will let you know the players that I have on my team, and I would appreciate any feedback you would like to share with me as far as who you think I should play from week to week, if you think I should drop or pick up or trade anybody. So for those of you who are not completely familiar with fantasy football, the way it works is it depends on the league a little bit, but basically you have to choose a quarterback, running backs, wide receivers, so you have to have each position represented on your fantasy team, but they could be from any team in the league, so you wouldn't necessarily have all Patriots players. Actually, you probably wouldn't want to do that because you don't want all your players to have the same bye week, which is basically a week that that team isn't playing, and because then you would have no players to play that week. And the goal is to get the most points. And you can get points in various ways, which I'll probably explain in another video. But I just wanted to start off by taking you through the draft. It'll probably be a little bit more vlog style. Since this is the first time I've ever done anything like this, I will be kind of figuring it out as I go along. But hopefully if you like football or if you're into fantasy football, then you will like this series. And if not, then maybe it will teach you something about fantasy football and get you interested in it. It is currently about 12:30 and the draft is at 3 o'clock. I'm hoping to fit in a mock draft before the actual draft so that I can get a little bit of practice, because once the draft starts, as you will see, it can move pretty quickly and you have to decide pretty fast who you're going to pick. And usually what happens to me is that the person I'm going to take next, the person who's in line right before me, takes that person. So you always want to have a backup. The draft order is determined randomly by the, Yahoo is the draft program, I guess, that we use. So that's what will determine the draft order. So I don't even know where I'll be in the draft order until I start. But I've rambled on long enough. I will see you when the draft begins, and I hope you enjoy it. Okay, so we're getting ready to start the draft. We have a little over 10 minutes until it starts. I found out that I am the second draft pick, so that's pretty good. I've got a queue lined up of people that I want to pick in the first round. But I will not tell you my strategy right now because there are other people who could hear and I don't want them to steal my players. So I am using another camera to record my screen. Hopefully that will work out so you can see what's going on as it happens. So we are about 3 minutes from the draft. We had a bit of technical difficulties with my mom's computer, but I think it's been fixed. I know last year when I was drafting, Yahoo's site just glitched on me and I randomly had a person picked that I didn't really want at the time, so you have to make sure that whoever's next in your queue is somebody that you would want in case it doesn't work out correctly. But as it gets closer, of course, I'm getting those little butterflies and excited, nervous, hoping it all goes well. So we will see. Here we go, just 1 minute left.
3, 2, 1.
The first pick person is now choosing, and we have 2 minutes for our turn each time to make a decision and choose a player before it goes on to the next person. I just drafted for my first pick Adrian Peterson, who is a running back. There are 16 picks until my next turn. So I have an idea of what I want to do, but it depends who those other 16 picks are. My team name, by the way, is Pink Punisher, which is why I decided to wear my pink football shirt today. Just going through and crossing off the people that are picked so I know who has been picked so I don't try to pick them and waste time. So this can take a couple of hours if everybody were to take the full 2 minutes for each pick, but it does start to get quicker toward the end when all the good people have been taken and it's just kind of whoever's left that you're taking. So hopefully the batteries and card and everything will last for the full time, but we'll deal with that when we come to it. A lot of people I want are already being taken. And I still have 8 picks to go before it's my turn. Really want a good team this year. Really hope I get some more good people. It's tough. There's a lot of people picking before I get to pick. Looks like I'm only gonna have 1 pick in between my next 2 picks, so I better have a second person lined up. Ah, they took what I wanted. This is going to be a fun editing job. Lots of delays. Okay, my turn. Just drafted Calvin Johnson as my wide receiver. Next, I'm gonna pick my quarterback. So over to the left of the screen, you can see who's picking in the order of picking. To the right of the screen, you can see what's been picked as well as the chat view, and then in the middle is whatever I select to look at. Just drafted Drew Brees as my quarterback. Don't know much about him, but hopefully he'll be good. There's probably a lot of Yahoo drafts going on right now, so it kind of messes things up for people because it will disconnect you as you're supposed to be drafting and will automatically pick whoever's first in your queue if you cannot draft. So sometimes you don't always get everybody that you want because it messes up on you, which is very frustrating. Just drafted Mark Ingram, running back. Everybody seems very focused this year. Usually there's a lot more chatting and things going on. This year, not so much. Everybody's very focused on their game. My brother in Florida just took the player I wanted. Thanks, Nolan. Picking my defense next. Don't want a bad defense. I have changed things a little bit this year as far as my strategy and what I'm choosing. I did learn a bit from last year, so we'll see if that works out. Just got Seattle as my defense. Got my next player lined up.
Hey, Aaron Gostkowski.
Yep.
You must have heard me.
No, I already had him picked, and when he was saying that, I was like, oh no, don't take him. Just have a bench player left and my flex player left to fill. That's the end of the draft, but for some reason at least for me, for some reason my flex didn't get filled, so I guess I can just move it into that position or something, I don't know. But my team consists of my quarterbacks are Drew Brees and Matthew Stafford, wide receiver Calvin Johnson, Andre Johnson, Vincent Jackson, Stevie Johnson, I think that's all the wide receivers. Running backs, Adrian Peterson, Mark Ingram, Shane Vereen, Danny Woodhead. For tight ends, I have Jason Witten, Kyle Rudolph, Vernon Davis, and kicker Steve Gostowski, defense Seattle. So we'll see what my draft rating from Yahoo is, but so far I feel pretty good about it, and we will see how the first week goes. I may have the draft of my other team before the first week actually begins. It could get confusing with the videos having two teams, but I will try to keep you updated on where I'm at, either with just one team or two teams. I haven't decided yet, and I will let you know. I'll give you an update as the season begins. But hopefully you've enjoyed this video, and I think they'll just get more exciting as the season goes on. So until then, I'll see you next time.